Friday market recap, a wrap of the week. Let's go back to last Friday when we had this, and I said, that's it. The dollar has peaked, and I wasn't long the dollar when this happened. I wasn't short the dollar when this happened. But after this happened, I said, I believe that I have enough capability to tactically get a dollar short position on a rally. So on Monday's video, I said sell up to 105.70, 105.80. Yesterday's high was 105.74. You had a nice scalp in this. I do believe that the dollar could head lower, but I want you to uh, have your mind open that we could still end up either from here or a little lower, put in one more rally that could take us back to 105, 106. That's not, I'm not going to trade that if it happens. So let's talk about what you do to protect the entry from 570. You at least take half. And then I talked about the Canadian being the weakest for a dollar sell-off, and it definitely was. Yesterday put out sells in here because this was a second lower high. It wasn't the first lower high. That happened right here. And that's when the Dixie was making a double top at 106.50 with Canada showing relative weakness. And then the dollar tried to rally again this week, and we came off. There was some data today, employment data in Canada. I could make a case for if we get follow through in the dollar that there's, maybe another 90 pips down to 570 or so down to this speed line. But you still want to get paid. Make May pay. So you take partial profits on your short dollar positions, and you take partial profits on your short Canadian positions. And also this week, I said I thought that we'd see 124.30 in the pound, and I was off a little bit. The low was 24.45, which was about 10, 15 pips away from 61.8. Had this nice rally, classic sell rumor by the fact on what happened with the BOE yesterday. And, you can't rule out that we could get maybe one more shot down. That would argue for what I was talking about in the dollar, that from wherever the low comes in, whether it's here or it's 104.80, 105, that we get something like this from down here to take us up there one more time. Looking at the end, starting to enter some resistance areas. I don't know what to do with it. I'll just leave it alone. So that was a Dixie. Same with Euro, and I do want to show how important we got down to 720 and we've rallied, but we could still push down one more time. So if you bought the euro on the dollar fade, you had, nice profits, 60, 70 pips, and same in pounds. So you protect it and trail your stops to BE. But that's how you protect it and stay with a portion of it in case we're still going like this early next week and that the pound continues up. But I want to show you how important this 108 area is in euro. Here's your daily. Look at how the moving averages have basically the 50 and the 200 are right there, right where we are. And if we start clearing this 108 and closing above these moving averages, just basically you would have a 110 and maybe 111. So this is very important. I'd welcome one more pullback, one more rally in the dollar to sell into. Also, I think that euro pound has peaked. I put that sell in yesterday. We'll see if we could get a flush back down towards the lows. And then we had the explosion in metals this week, and I'm getting questions from followers, whether or not they should add to the miners because I was looking for um, a pullback in the miners. I thought the GDX, which is going to come in right around the old highs, was going to pull back towards 30. I wouldn't put new money to work here. There are some divergences at new highs on some of these gold stocks. Um, so I would still be patient. And if it keeps going, you should still have your core on, or at least half your core on, like me, from near the bottom. So right now, I'm not going to short it, but I'm not going to put new money to work in the golds here. Want to cover yields. I said that I thought yields had peaked last week, as well as the dollar, and I still believe that, but there could be a little bit more work left in yields here to where you can see what I'm talking about in the dollar, that maybe we get an A, B, C back to 55, maybe 460 was a big area. That's where it broke down, which means that TLT could still pull back a little bit here, maybe back to the wedge line, 89-ish. In ABC fashion, 89's got to hold this wedge line, 88, 87. But I'd be looking to buy the bonds. If that happened, we have a big inflation number next week. So that's something to keep an eye on. So, this is, I believe, it had proved itself last week. And just like the dollar could still have a little, not finished with the correction before the next wave up in TLT, which means lower yields and maybe one more rally in the dollar before a lower dollar. Natural gas, I want to talk a little bit about energy. Nat gas still acting great. WTI put in a nice little reversal day down here. It still needs to clear 80 to give an all clear. Here you go, back above 80. So, my comment on Twitter was a normal correction after this advance, uh, a nice reversal day, and an abnormal Middle East, which is what we have, which, normally I'd be working the short side. We start getting closes back over 80, I would really rein in my bearishness. And then I do want to show something that I think is interesting on the stock side. I brought it up with Mike yesterday, and that was NVIDIA, which I know it's coming in higher today, 12 better. But NVIDIA couldn't rally yesterday with a very strong S&P market, and semiconductors look to be, one of the weaker groups where this could be a failing rally here. Looking at the S&Ps, I talked about on Monday, if I got stopped out attempting it here at this moving average at 5150, that we could go to 220. We've even exceeded that. I think a lot of people that were, thinking we were going to have a failing rally have probably thrown in the towel on this. And I actually put some more VIX calls on today, thinking that it could still be a failing rally. I've not thrown in the towel on that one. And so VIX is pretty cheap. I mean, VIX is saying we should already be at new highs. VIX getting ready to press this low and this low. And that's with the market not really being that, not making new highs yet. Still could be a failing rally in NASDAQ, something to keep an eye on. And the semiconductors, I just wanted to show a couple of indexes here. And while I'm at it, an update in wheat. They tried to sell it off yesterday, but still acting great. Beans got clipped yesterday, but I'm still thinking the lows are in. You buy this break in beans. And corn still looking okay. as long as we hold 420. So the grains are still in gear. Everyone's talking about the DAX at new highs. Here we are. But look at this glaring divergence that we have in DAX right now, right up here. Look at that. It's pretty glaring. UK's been flying. One of the weakest bourses is the Nikkei. I know it's come back today, but it looks pretty heavy to me, which probably means that, eventually the BOJ is going to have to raise rates to strengthen the yen. Want to talk about just a couple of ETFs here. All right. Oh yeah, here it is. Here's your semiconductor index. Looks a lot like um, what we had going in NVIDIA. Pretty nice break, and failing, at least stopping, feeling some resistance here. If we have another wave to the downside in the S&Ps, just like semis led the way up, they may be the leaders on a correction. And, I know it looks aggressive, but that can be 180 in the SMH. And I think I had the also the XLE I wanted to show, which looks pretty good to me. All right. Anyway, look at the oil shares. I went over it with Mike yesterday. I don't know where I have it, but anyway, the takeaway is was a good week shorting the dollar at those targets. There could be some follow through into early next week, but be alert because it's an inside week. This is what I really wanted to bring up to everyone to keep an open mind on it. Is we had such a big range last week that all we have is an inside week. So what could happen is we could start off lower and then begin to rally and head back up one more time. So you have to be alert for the dollar to possibly hold these lows at 450. Under 450, it's a different story. But say right now we're 525 and we hold like 480 and try and rally again and get some type of outside week. I'm not going to trade it. I just want you to be aware of it so that you book something and protect any nice positions that you had on with BE stops. So the worst thing that could happen is anything you did to fade dollar strength. The worst case scenario now is you make money. So I hope I've helped everyone this week with some of my forecasts and some of my tactics, and hope you're learning along with just following forecasts. A lot of great stuff. I posted a lot of this in the room. The Canada trade was just yesterday, and that was good for close to 90 pips now. So have a great weekend, everybody. Do your work over the weekend so that you're prepared for next week. The big event's going to be CPI next week. And remember, most of all, there are people out there that don't have discretionary income to speculate in the markets with, so consider yourself fortunate that you can do it and not have to make a decision between paying your rent and buying your meds. So above all, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And Mike will be up for his Friday broadcast, and we'll see you. The TradeGATEHub team will be in full force again next week. Adios.